Thought I'd already done this, but I guess not. Nope, sure didn't. Oh, I didn't hit send. Duh. What am I gonna do with me? There we go. Whoa. Got all these messages now. Did you just... Oh, okay. That's fine, Rachel. Is that a pile of poop? It says you look great. And then, yeah. Old English wigs were black, so you look like a judge. That sounds like a good idea. I like to be able to wear costumes. It'd be pretty funny. All right. Select desktop on YouTube to get the chat up. Hear that, Tracy? You do that, it will come up.
I've already got chat up.
Oh, I see you now. I'm just now getting down to your comments. I went away and then I came back and then I had all these comments. It's going to be like a roasting session, I can see, with Tracy involved. Right. Now we're down to 2 people. What's up? Jeez. Well, I mean, we're trying to get all these little bugs worked out. So there really ain't much to say right now.
Even Rachel laughed.
Jeez. You think you're funny. You think she's funny.
She heard me say you're boring.
I know, I heard that too. I was trying to let that one go. I mean, it's bad enough. He thinks he's funny and then you're boring. Okay, we got 4 on there now. What about the lighting? Well, the thing is, this is a test run. Now, when I'm out in the... Gosh, what I have to deal with all the time. So when I'm
never a dull moment.
When I'm outside, well, I say when I'm outside. Sometimes I might do that outside because I think that it would be better to have a background that's worth something, So it's...
You can say your words all together. You don't have to space them so much.
There you go. What you talking about? Space out my word. My words? Oh, when I'm talking.
Think
that's because
I am a genius.
I think that's a AD thing. AD whatever. Heavy duty. Must be. All right.
Must be.
So
put user in timeout.
Golly. It's too bad that we can't have a chat, an actual chat where I can hear something. I don't hear nothing. You
can go to I forgot what it's called.
Now who's a genius? Oh, here we go. Participants. Oh, that's it. Rachel, Tracy, and David. But it says 4 people.
We'll click on the 4 people thing and see.
It won't do anything. That might help. We could try that. All right. Uh-oh.
Come on
Somebody
in.
else coming in the house. What do you want?
Mom and I ready.
Get some pizza.
From where? I'm not sure.
Maybe that's what's wrong with me. I might be hungry.
Papa John's or Domino's.
Oh, Terry's on. Okay.
Terry Quinn just sent you a message.
Yeah, it says she's on. From who? Domino's?
Domino's or Hungry Howie's. I don't know. What's good?
I think I got some coupons for...
Hungry Howie's might be good.
I got some coupons for Hungry Howie's up here. I've never had that before.
We have.
Do you know where they're at, Tracy?
Probably on your desk.
Look on my desk over there.
Right here?
Sorry, we're handling important things here. I mean, other important things. Yeah, right there.
It's a
Look
big
what you
pile.
did to my hair.
I'm a hairstylist.
So so Terry's on, but Terry makes some comments.
Let us know you're here, Terry.
Golly, I need to. You can get the scissors out. See this right
Get
here?
the weed whacker.
Need some work. I need to put a hat on. That's what I need. The lava cake from Terry. Where you at? You go on the. You're supposed to be messaging on Facebook. I mean, on Facebook.
YouTube.
On the YouTube live. I'm so used to saying YouTube. Hey, yeah, I need one of those hats like I had in the Tom Dooley project. That's exactly what I need.
It.
This
Chill,
clears.
child.
I could just take these off, I guess, but then I can't see right out in them like.
Look who am I?
Captain Jack. Arr.
Arr.
Hey, what are you doing? What are you? Oh, you got
You
it.
want my
Okay.
glasses?
Come over here. Let me see that, please.
Come here, Carla.
What? What? They're not what?
Come over here on this side.
They're not what?
Oh, just look. That's Hungry House. You can use whatever you want. Squat down.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Look at that shirt she's got on.
Representing.
Hamm Scapes.
She's a representing.
Hungry Howie's.
Hams and did you just cover my face?
Golly. It's hard to find good help.
Really? You get what you pay for.
It's only open to people that have the link to go to it. I'm waiting on Terry to say something on the chat. She said, try the lava cake.
Uh-oh, Tracy. I don't see
Where to message you on here, on there. Okay, Rachel, maybe she can help you out. Oh, well, she can't. Never mind. Yeah, I can read Rachel's comments because Terry don't know how to get to the comment part. So, okay, here we go. Rachel says, Terry, listen to this. So get to the chat on the phone. You tap the three dots on the top right corner, then select desktop, and the chat will come up. There we go. In case anybody don't know, did you tell them it's my sister already?
Hey.
All three people. It keeps going back and forth.
Look, we're matching. Me and you match colors.
It does look like I got pink on. This is Dr.
You do not look stupid.
Yeah.
Yours is Dr. Pepper.
Yes, see those coupons.
Well, working
And
on
mine
getting
is-
this figured out.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
How
Oh,
about
yeah.
Domino's or Papa John's? Which one between the two?
What do you mean Hungry Howie's is too hard to figure out?
No, I didn't say they're too hard to figure out. They're just the coupons aren't the greatest.
No, they're not that great. All right. It don't matter to me. I'm not picky at all. I guess it's been a few hours since I ate. About 5 hours.
Me and Carla had candy.
I guess Papa 20 is.
We got enough leftovers in there.
I had a peanut M&M.
Oh, that's good. Nutritious. All right. So to get on the chat on the phone. Okay. Great to see you too, Rachel.
Who am I?
And Carla said what she was going to say.
Hey, Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
There you go. So
She's Flash Gordon.
Splash Gordon.
Flash.
I made up another name for her. Splash.
All right, y'all.
All right.
Go back.
Be
Any
careful.
particular kind?
She said, hi, Carla.
Hello.
You decide.
Any particular kind of what? Pizza?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care. I am not picky at all.
No, you're
And
not.
if you go to Domino's, get the lava cake. I don't know. I don't
Really?
need that.
He does not need no lava cake.
Oh,
Supreme.
yeah, Supreme's good. I'll put it down. Just make sure you get enough of it. I might get large by myself. All right. Terry's not too tech savvy. Wait until her daughter comes home. She's okay. Well, that's fine. And if you had to, Terry, what you could do is send me a message
Does Terry have a YouTube
on
account?
Messenger, and then I could just read it. She does, yes.
Is she
But
on her YouTube
I
account?
think she's on her phone. That's
You can still
problem.
get to your account from your phone.
Yes, but she just can't figure out where the three dots are, maybe.
No.
All right, so on your phone,
So see, look.
they're in the top right.
Watch.
Oh, well, then show her.
Okay, so well, I can't show her.
Yeah, you can turn it around right here.
It's backwards when you look,
Is it?
and you can't see anything anyway.
Well, listen, all she needs to do is put a mirror up in front of here.
Really?
No, not really.
He's a genius, y'all.
Brilliant.
You can't see anything.
Okay, you can't see that. It's not working very good.
Would you just listen to your wife
All right,
for once?
just tell me what the deal is.
Look. You have to click on your video, live chat. See, I've already subscribed, so I already know. We should have a
She
regular
said
nightly show.
she found the dots. It's something about her browser.
It's not the dots she needs to be on. She needs to hit this right here
Oh,
with the lines.
oh, the lines. Okay, there's some kind of lines, Terry. Wonder where Tom Robinson. I sent Tom a message telling him to get on there and try it. So
We look better on my phone than we do on your computer, by the way.
oh,
See, it's more clear.
oh, it is more clear. I don't know. I mean, this is a new computer. It's supposed to be
It's just because it's large. It's the
high tech.
pixelation.
Well, I got it. Okay, I guess that's it. I've got a nice camera I could plug into it, I reckon.
It's fine.
All right. So,
Because if I'm receiving it like this, everybody else is receiving it like this.
all right. So when you only typed. Oh, I don't know why I'm yawning. You typed 2 messages. That's all you got to say. Look at all these Rachel had.
I'm talking to the dang thing.
Oh yeah. I guess it makes sense. Well then, I guess you just be part of the show.
I am the show.
All right, so
I'm the talent.
yeah, we have to find a different backdrop besides Tracy. I mean, besides the inside the house. I'd say we use.
Whatever.
Well, let's do a little test run here. We could do the backdrop. I'm not going outside.
Rachel's saying something. She can't.
Rachel, Nick. Oh,
Next to the top right corner. I can't read it.
oh, beside the magnifying glass. All right. Next to the top right corner, next to the magnifying glass, is the 3 dots. So I see 3 dots on my computer. I don't see the magnifying glass. But on your phone, her phone was showing 3 lines, right?
I can disconnect and get back on so you can see. Look,
I
he just
shoulda-
went away.
Oh, I should have gave Carter some money. I think I didn't think about it. Okay. All right. So what I was going to say was, it don't really matter. I got an idea. Watch out. Let me up. Yeah. All right. So the backdrop could be at some point when it's not so daggone hot. I don't know why I put this thing here. All right. Out here is the view out back. If I'm doing it at night, yeah. That was brilliant. No. Did you need some money? Good. Okay. Another option. Just somewhere out front. Look at this.
Look at Scarlet. Hey, Scarlet. Hi, Coco.
All right.
Scarlet's getting pretty.
Oh, NASCAR banner. Well, that's an idea. I've got all kinds of banners, NASCAR banners, pit wall banners and stuff. Or, yeah, out in my shop, hanging up. There's a Miller Lite one. And, yeah, a NASCAR one, or Coke, or something like that. Or a Coors, but they're from NASCAR. Okay. Yeah, it's probably Tracy's phone. She works a little different.
What if you came over here and sat on the couch over here?
Oh, I could try that. Yeah, Rachel, that's probably what it is. She's got a Samsung phone. And I have an iPhone. That's not
I
bad.
meant right there is what I meant. But
Oh,
that's
all right.
fine.
Hamm's beer banner. I do have some of those. It's another good one. And they're all kind of in the same place. So I could actually put the Hamm's beer banner in between those. Do that. Rachel has an Android too, but it's a Motorola. Hello, Moto.
Yes.
I remember this. All right. Yes. Or I could change it up every time.
Yes, we need anti-glare glasses for sure.
Or just change it. Well, I guess we could change the lighting because, yeah.
I see you.
Oh, it still does that. Hello, Moto. Welcome to the 20th century.
Sunglasses will be cool, she said.
Well, yeah. Could do that.
I took mine out.
I got my aviators and such.
Here's your mouse.
I know what I need.
Don't you say it.
What?
A beer.
I need some pizza. A what?
A beer.
No.
Where are you going?
Here, hold this.
It's just the Tracy Show. You see the grays? They're in there.
Here, I'll do this first. Yeah.
Y'all in for a treat. Let's just say that.
Let's just say that.
Actually, honey,
Oops.
guess what? You killed it.
Crap.
All you gotta do is just X.
Okay. I forget that I can touch the
Leave this
screen.
side cancel. Okay, wait a minute.
Okay.
This has a light. How do you get to the light? Airplane mode.
All right, I'm gonna. Here we go. Let's send this to Tom.
You don't see grays at all, Rachel. They're in there. It's the lighting.
Listen, this
I'm
ain't
not as
about
gray
you.
as him, but I got it. Even though I'm older than him.
This ain't about you.
That hat is crooked.
See, since I'm into archaeology now,
One side goes up.
I'm an archaeologist now. Finding arrowheads and such.
And such.
So this is my new hat.
So I get that one.
Well, listen, if we're going to talk about NASCAR, then how about that? Yeah, you get that one. Yes, that's my Indiana Jones hat. Who's your ham?
It looks better on me anyway.
Terry said, who's your ham? Yep, it looks better on you, huh? Indiana. It's a Hoosier state. That's right. I see the connection. This is my Pocono hat that I got after
Look at
Blaney.
the signatures.
Yeah, after Blaney won, I got him to sign it. It's got all the Wood brothers and Ryan Blaney.
You have to include Tracy.
Tracy.
That's me.
This is business. No, I'm just kidding.
I am your business.
All right, this is what does that say? Pocono Green 250.
Victory Lane
Victory
edition,
Lane.
June 10th, 2017, 44 of 100.
44
So there was only
hats.
100 of these hats made.
Yeah. So this is one of my favorites. But covers up my gray. Tracy, that looks better.
What looks better?
You wearing a hat.
I just wished it was straight and not all flopped up.
She wears kids size hats, by the way.
That's because I don't have a
Baby
big head.
hats, actually, babies. Why are you gonna mess up my rim?
I mean, it's one side's going up and one side's going down.
That's the way I like it. When the sun's over here,
Lord help this
I can turn
man.
the hat around that way. Uh-oh. All right, so Terry says, I have an Alabama gang hat with Bobby, Donnie, and red on it. I got it in Hueytown. So it's an actual original
Huey
Alabama
Lewis
gang.
in the news.
Well, Hueytown's Alabama was where they lived. So
How come your chat went away?
I don't know. But the last time Alec wears an adult size hat, wow, he's got a bigger head than Tracy.
Well,
The last time Donnie brought
little things come
hero
in big
cards
packages.
and he was selling Alabama gang hats, but he didn't have any with him this time at the Harley Davidson place. Yeah, I like this hat.
It's like I said,
Well,
big things come in little packages.
she always says stuff backwards, by the way.
Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Big things come in little packages.
I had to think about it. Yeah, you actually got that right. I'm surprised you didn't say little things come in big packages.
I did the first time.
Yeah, see, yeah. That's what I'm used to. Well, anybody got any questions? I guess we're just testing. Are you gonna scratch me?
Because I like to.
Alec is 5. Tracy is 55.
You're crazy.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Oh, she said Tracy. I thought she was asking me how old you were. She just said Alec is 5. ... comma Tracy.
48.
Well, she wasn't asking how old you were. I was just saying that that's what, yeah, it looked like at first. I don't know why it does it.
What's the hardest part of building an engine? Torquing.
Getting to work on time.
Yes. David's going to be late to his own funeral.
And making it till break time. All right.
This man can't be serious.
Okay, so the hardest part of building an engine, NASCAR engine, I'm assuming, is, well, I mean, all right. So if it were me and I were not used to it every day, day in, day out, it's being on my feet all day. It doesn't bother me now, but when I go on vacation and I go back to work, it bothers me. But so being on my feet all day and then constantly torquing and
twerking,
yeah.
Twerking, he twerks at work, folks. He twerks.
Well, besides twerking, twerking too. Yeah, I like twerking. Yeah.
Who's your favorite Ford driver?
But I guess that was a good answer, Rachel. I mean, the hardest part. Well, the other thing is if I didn't have all the experience that I have, is actually knowing what I'm doing, because people come in and they're like, "How do you know how to do that? How do you know?" I mean, because it does take a lot of experience in doing it for sure. You don't want to miss something because if an engine blows up, you're talking you cost the team, you cost the driver, you cost the cost of the engine, all that stuff. So it affects a lot of people. All right, so
Favorite driver.
favorite driver. Now look what that
What?
doesn't look good. It's
Cleaning
bad
my
video.
glasses.
All right. Anyway, my favorite driver, Brad Keselowski.
Personality, I like
I've seen
Joey.
Rachel's thing.
Joey's a sweet guy.
I do like Joey's good.
He's a
Yeah,
good kid.
Yeah, he is. But I think those two are my favorites that I build for now. But yeah, when Brad comes around, I like it. I think he is. I wouldn't even say he's underrated because he's one of the top drivers. I just can't believe that he hasn't won yet this year. It's hard to believe that. Brad's very smart, very dedicated. So he's very intelligent. So whenever I talk to him, we kind of connect right on because I consider myself being somewhat intelligent sometimes in some areas. All right. Oof, now that's bright. I just went to Messenger. All right. So
Another good question.
yeah, what's another?
What's the major difference in NASCAR from when you began and now?
The major difference is we don't have Earnhardt anymore. That's probably the biggest thing because Earnhardt was sort of like a policeman that kept NASCAR in line and the other drivers to a point, but all the other drivers, everybody usually would work together and, well, I say work together, only meaning got along for the most part. They may have on track incidents, but they got along outside of the track and all that stuff. But whenever it comes down, your stomach's growling. Whenever it come down to getting the fans, I think like having the fans interested in the sport, and then NASCAR would go to NASCAR or I'm sorry, Earnhardt would go to NASCAR and say, you know what, y'all don't need to do that. That's not cool. Fans ain't gonna like that. You're gonna run people off, that kind of stuff. And I don't know if we have that anymore, really.
And there's not as many
And I think we
fights
missed that.
as there used to be.
Yeah, well,
Remember?
there used to
At the
be.
funeral.
Sorry, there used to be, huh?
At
Oh,
the
that's
funeral.
yeah. Well, she's talking about
Norman.
Ricky Rudd and Larry Lackey, the one that time that Larry Lackey punched Ricky Rudd, and then Ricky Rudd threw a water bottle and hit Larry Lackey. So I'm sitting there talking to Ricky Rudd, and then, or was I talking to Larry? Yeah. Anyway, one of them walked up. It was Ricky, and then Larry walks up, and he does his fist like he's getting ready to fight with Ricky. So they both kind of did that right there, and then they laughed about it. But yeah, you used to see more of that kind of stuff. But now it's like NASCAR drivers are cut off. You cannot do anything that make NASCAR mad, or
Watch
you're
my
going to
hair.
get fined.
Look at my hair.
Trying to turn that now. Man, what is wrong with your head? I mean, the outside
It's
of
my
it.
brain. It's the blood flowing in my brain. It's my heartbeat
have
in my
mercy.
head.
Yes. All right. So next question. I think Terry says Earnhardt brought the fans in, both he and Junior. That's for sure. See how many years did Earnhardt Jr. get most popular driver? Probably every year. And I remember Bill Elliott used to get it a lot of times because people didn't like Earnhardt a lot of times because he would cause some wrecks. He would do whatever it took to win the races. That's for sure. Um, so Terry says, share some of your biggest moments in your career.
Earnhardt running over your foot.
Yeah. I wish I could remember what track there was. I think it was Darlington. I don't know why I couldn't remember that at the moment. Darlington pits were very close, very tight, and pit road was kind of narrow too. So I'm in the pit.
I'm gonna get you.
I jacked. God dang it! It just. So I jacked the car up on the right side, and I stepped back. My foot's kind of hanging out just a little bit. And then Earnhardt was bad about cutting off driver. He was pitted in front of us, so he just comes right over and just cuts. Like my foot's. Let's see, my foot's right here, which is my hand. But anyway, he just goes right over just my toes on my shoes and pulls into his pit.
So
Nothing
after
like
that, he started wearing steel-toed shoes.
Well, no, I did not. You think about it. If a car runs
I'm
over,
kidding.
I'm just gonna say this: if a car runs over your steel-toe shoes and clamps down on that steel into your foot,
Stays.
and it stays. So I don't know,
I get the logic.
and it'd be hard to run.
So,
but the oh, and then Ricky Rudd, which I ended up talking to him about it years later, and he apologized. Which I was just telling him that I thought it was funny that I ran into the side of him one time because he kind of cut it short whenever I took the jack, ran to the front of the car. And I just said, well, heck, he's right there. I'm just going to bounce off of him and bounce my way around the front of the car. So I just took my jack and jammed it into his side of his car. So anyway, but as far as uh, biggest moments, I mean, I don't know. We won some, mostly in the Busch Series with Nemechek. Yeah, in that Nokia car, and yeah, David Smith was a great guy. I was friends with him on Facebook too, and he passed away cancer a couple years ago. And actually, I commented on one of his posts one time about Earnhardt running over my foot. Excuse me, and he sent me he commented back, and I actually did a screenshot of it. I got it somewhere, and I said that or he said that he went up to Earnhardt one time and told him not to be cutting off other pit crews and stuff. And I'll just have to try to find exactly what he said. But he said he stood up for the pit crews on that because he didn't believe Earnhardt should have been cutting off people to try to slow them down. So anyway, what would you do if you were a sober Brian France to bring back NASCAR fans to bring back fans? Yeah, that's true. Brian France. Yeah, I mean, so I think that what would I do? Oh, this is very distracting. Jeez. So I would. All right. Here's what I would do. I would actually go talk to Humpy Wheeler because Humpy used to bring the fans into Charlotte for the 600, and he's a good. He would. You could turn this into kind of like a circus type deal and bring more fans in. Have some entertainment. So, and another thing is don't make them wait in a long line of cars. Um, so deal with handling the traffic in and out of the track. Do some free parking because you're already making enough money off the stuff. Make beer, sell beer, but make it affordable. The way people don't have to lug these big coolers into the tracks. So, but also entertainment. Have some bands, have the music that people want to hear, not some of these bands that they have come in. I mean, we're NASCAR fans. Go back to some of the roots of where it started with the back when I was a kid, it was NASCAR country, and it was most of it was country music. And I'd say do some surveys and find out what most of NASCAR fans listen to. Bring in some of the older country even. I mean, they do have some new stuff, but I don't know. Luke Bryan's not exactly. I don't know. To me, NASCAR fans aren't as big Luke Bryan fans. They may be. Maybe I'm just getting old. But heck, get Charlie Daniels into the racetrack. Get him in there singing. Um, some of these guys. Yeah. So Terry says, "Amen on the roots, fewer rules."
AC/DC.
ACDC.
For
Is that what you would do?
Bound to rock.
Yes.
We salute you.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, okay, so I think interaction like what you are doing now is this. Okay. Well, thank you, Rachel. Um, yeah. I mean, I'm all about uh, interacting and trying to get more people interested. Because I grew up in NASCAR. I grew up a fan. I grew up knowing exactly what NASCAR was, and that was the sport when I was a kid. It was wrestling and racing,
Who else
and
is watching?
maybe Tom. Yeah, Tom Robinson.
Where do you see Tom?
Right here. He just popped up here. Don't you think the drivers should be more fan friendly? Kind of do some more meet and greet shows, and they all appreciate us supporting them.
Hey,
Absolutely.
Tom.
Yes. I think, and that's one of the other things I like about Brad Keselowski is that he goes down and intermingles with the fans. Because
He's definitely no Danica.
yeah, I mean, and what Danica Patrick said about um, not it's not her job. It's not part of her job to sign autographs. Stuff was ridiculous.
I'm gonna go put the
But look what
girls
they
up.
got her. Yeah.
I'll be back.
I mean, look what that got her. She pretty much fell out of the sport after that. But definitely interact. So when I was like, I'll go back to when I was a kid again. The drivers were actually most of them were from Charlotte or from this area, so you would run into them around here and whatever. But they were, yeah, it's probably out in my shop. Both of them are, but they were local boys, and they wasn't better than anybody else. They were real. Oh, okay. They were real racers. Cut their teeth on the dirt tracks around here. So nowadays we got a lot of drivers that they're racing off the dad's money. You know, and I think some of the fans tend to lose a little bit of interest in watching spoiled brats running and whining and all that kind of stuff. But I think they should use some of these. They should do more to try to get these kids, guys that are racing um, at the local dirt tracks and that are running good and winning races and actually have the good talent and start putting them in cars. And so, all right. So Terry, did you talk with Davey much? I guess you're talking about Davey Allison. I'm sure. I have actually never met Davey Allison because I got in right after he died, and I remember the day he died. And I was working at a dealership then, and I was so much wanting to be in NASCAR, and that's what I had already finished college at the time, and that's what I went to college for, was wanting to get into NASCAR. And but some of the guys I worked with Davey, and they really liked him a lot. And one thing that's kind of funny is, I'll take these off because they're just clearing. Is whenever Robert was alive, Robert Yates, he would talk about, like, we were at the Robert Yates reunion, and he was on the stage, and it had Larry McReynolds talking to him and asking him questions, and they asked him about Davey, um, and so he kept talking about Davey a lot. He was telling a lot of stories about Davey, and then they got Doug up there, Doug Yates, his son, to come up and talk with him. And they said, "So you talked a lot about Davey. What do you think about Doug? How do you feel about Doug?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, I'm real proud of him. He's done a good job with taking over with the engine shop and getting that stuff going." And then he started talking about Davey again, and he just kept on. Davey was like a son to me. He would come and do this and that. And then Doug looked over at him and said, "Dad, you're supposed to be talking about me." So we all got a big kick out of that. But Davey was definitely like another son to Robert Yates. And so now I guess they can spend time together and reminisce in a better place, right? All right. So Rachel says, "What inspired you to want a career in NASCAR?" And I might tell Tom this right quick. Tom, as soon as this is not going to be the backdrop, sitting inside my living room. Hopefully, I can do this out with the Hampstead in the background, whenever it's less humid for one. But anyway, we're out in my shop with those banners that you sent me because I got the Coors Light banner hanging up, and I've got the Miller Lite banners hanging up out there, and also I could do my Hamm's beer banners. So what inspired me to want a career in NASCAR? Um, well, when I was a kid growing up in Charlotte, and that was wrestling and racing, and I remember being on school bus and arguing with another kid about my favorite driver was David Pearson, and later on it was Carol Yarborough back in the '70s, and his was Richard Petty. And I wasn't a huge Richard Petty fan because Richard Petty was winning, all the time. He won 200 races and 7 championships, and 7 or 8. Gosh, I must be getting old, forgetting things. But so anyway, I the biggest thing that inspired me was I was going to dirt track racing with my then brother-in-law down in Gastonia at Carolina Speedway. And when my dad would go with me too, I remember dad looking over it. I remember him just kind of watching because I watched my dad a lot growing up, but I watched him watching one of the other guys that was over there setting the timing on an engine. This is probably when I was 15 years old, at the oldest. And so I was like, and my dad was just like, I think he really thought that was cool watching that guy doing that. So I thought, you know what, this is what I want to do. I want to work on cars. I want to work in racing. I want to know how to do all that stuff that they know how to do. So I did what I had to do, though. I went into food service, and that was a way of making a paycheck, working at Carowinds, working at Shoney's. And then for I started in the college for automotive service technician at a dealership. So, and it was a General Motors program. So I went through that about 2.5 years it took. And then I got to know some guys in NASCAR. And then that's when I finally decided, um, as soon as I got the job interview in NASCAR, I mean, that was probably one of the biggest days of my life was just getting that job and starting that job. That was just awesome to me. So anyway, anything else? Anybody? Tom, you still there? Tom Robinson. All right, does everybody remember Tom Robinson? I know that Terry remembers him, I'm sure, and Rachel from Twitter. He's not on Facebook, but all right. So Terry says, "What other crew guys did you look up to?" That's a good question. I looked up to Jeff Clark, who was the jackman for Davey Allison back in the day, and then eventually he was the jackman for Ernie Irvin, and then went on to be with Earnhardt Jr., and then he was gas man for Jr. also, and he was with Tony Stewart and then Joe Logano. Anyway, the guy's been in NASCAR forever, but he was a beast of a guy, and I actually still work with him now because him and Doug Yates went to. All right, Tom's still on. He and Doug Yates went to high school together, East Meck in Charlotte, and they were about 4 years ahead of me at East Meck, and I was at Harding. So east side of Charlotte was always kind of the rich side, and then the west side was the poorer side. So, um, but anyway, I didn't know those guys back then. But so yeah, he was probably the number one guy that I looked up to. But before that, I also wanted to be a jack man. I always heard about Junior Johnson being a jack man, and also Jeff Hammond was a jack man at one point. Um, so I think once I got in there, I already knew I wanted to be a jack man. But because I worked with John Bryan at a dealership at Reed Oldsville in Charlotte, so me and John Bryan worked together. And then John Bryan got the call one day from Ricky Rudd that he wanted him to come work in his parts room as his full-time parts guy and jackman. So I went to work for Savco, and then me and John would be on the airplane together. And I remember John saying to me, um, I think he was Jack. Yeah, he was Jackman for Dale Jarrett. Then I'm pretty sure. But he was like, "Did you ever think we would be here, me and you? I'm Jackman for Dale Jarrett, and you're Jackman for Kyle Petty." So kind of always remember that. I thought that was pretty cool. Tracy's back from putting the dogs up. We found Tom.
Found Tom?
Yep,
What do you mean?
he's on here.
He was on there before I left.
Oh, he was okay. Tom, you got any questions? Anybody else got any questions? So next time we'll have to make sure we have some. I mean, these have been great questions. Hopefully, I've answered them thoroughly without rambling on too much. But yeah, I mean, I could keep going for hours. Yeah, Robert Yates. So Rachel says we do miss Robert Yates. Do you have one favorite memory you can share? And then so yeah, I would always every time Robert would come around, I'd see him walking in the halls or whatever. So I would go out there and talk to him. So I know one time I went out and was talking to him about he went to Wilson Technical College in Wilson, North Carolina, and that's where my dad was born in Wilson. So I went out there and talked to him about that, and so we kind of had that part in common. But the other thing that I mentioned to him one time was about how when I was a kid I would ride my bicycle down past the Guard race shop.
You like my coconuts?
That's pineapples. Jeez, I had to think about it. So Tracy got me some little pineapples for my tiki bar. So little tiki torches or whatever you call them. Put some stuff in there, tiki oil. So anyway, so I would so I told Robert about me riding my bicycle by there, and he's like, the first thing he said was, "Did you hear the engines running?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember hearing him thinking, what in the world are they doing in there?" But I would ride my bicycle by Guard and Kel Yarborough Motorsports, and I could see Home and Moody right down there, um, right right beside, not far from Guard. So, all right. So Tom Robinson said, "How happy are you as a premier engine builder to see y'all's motors kicking ass this year?" It's pretty. It's really. It's it's hard to explain. I mean, it's kind of like I don't know. It's been so you do your job day in and day out, and then when you see the race or hear that your engine won, I've kind of gotten away from watching like every race and sitting down and watching every race because I've gotten so busy, and most of the time I end up thinking I just spent all this time watching this race and we didn't win or whatever. So I but I think it's I don't it's over the years it's like we've won and we keep on winning, but I think this year has been probably the best year we had since 2005, I would say. But it's kind of like I try not to get too excited because the big prizes at the end. So it's like all these wins are sort of they're important, very important for the strength of Ford and Ford Performance and Roush H engines and keeping our deal together for the future. But I get more excited when it gets down toward the end of the season. I guess it'd be kind of like watching football or baseball. You're happy when your team wins, but you get down to the championship, and that's when you really get excited whenever they're in the Super Bowl. So that's what you know. That's just the way it is for me. So, and it says Tom says I know in the past few years Ford has been lacking, but we always knew it wasn't an engine problem. So as a huge Ford fan, RYE fan, it's very exciting. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it hasn't been from lack of uh, horsepower for sure. I think a lot of it's Roush has sort of fallen down a little, over time. Maybe hasn't kept up with, sometimes you do have to change well, you have to change if you're going to do better. You're going to be better. You
Life
have to
has
kind of have to
changed.
go. Yeah, you have to go with the times all the time. And Doug Yates has always instilled that into us about changes. There's been times where we start hiring more engineers, and we're like, why are we getting more engineers? We don't need more engineers, but you know what? You have to go with it, and it takes engineers working together with racers, with mechanics, with technicians, all working together to accomplish the goal at the end. Rachel says, "What do you think of the new?" Am I putting you to sleep?
I guess.
I guess so. What do you think of the new Ford for the NASCAR 2019? Well, I wish they'd have done it 5 years ago because it's been running in the Xfinity Series, and I like the Mustang. I mean, it's iconic. It's been around. Let's see, 50 years. It's been around a long time, and so I think to bring it back. I saw the unveiling. We actually went up to the break room and sat in there. The whole team sat in there and watched the unveiling on the big screen, and that car looks really cool. I was surprised at how much it looks like the real Mustang sitting beside it. Um, yeah, it was. I mean, I think it's going to do a good job on the track. They certainly put a lot of effort and time into it. They come to us with the development of the cowl, and because that's an important part of making horsepower in an engine. So Terry says, "What made you decide to come off the road and turn to engine building?" Well, I always actually was an engine builder. I mean, I was. What are you doing? So I was.
I know the answer. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I was building engines during the week, and then I would go to the racetrack. So I would always say I was working 8 days a week. So, but as far as getting off the road, when my son started playing baseball, I guess he was about 6 years old, and I was missing some of his t-ball games and stuff like that. I said, "All right, I've got to go. I want to coach him," and so I ended up decided that I wanted to quit. Plus, I was missing my weekends. All that working, life's more. There's more things, more important things in life than working all the time. So I would. I just decided I was done.
Okay. So, do y'all want me to ask him a question?
Say no.
Don't
I'm
say
just
no.
kidding. I've got five people watching now.
I know. Who's the fifth?
I don't know who all's watching. I said we got Tom, Rachel. I got to do this on my
Terry
fingers
and
so I
me.
keep it. Terry, you.
Who else is watching?
I don't think it includes
She
myself.
said yes. Okay. So,
Thanks a lot.
y'all will like this, trust me. So, what was it about NASCAR that made you want to get into the industry?
What was it about NASCAR that made me want to get into the industry? Um, hmm, that's a deep question. Jeez.
Hell yeah, Tracy, ask away.
Yeah. All right. So
There's things I really
I,
can't ask
I,
that he can't answer
I kind
to.
of, I might have already answered this one whenever you were outside, but whenever I was telling them a story about whenever I went to the dirt tracks and I saw my dad over there, saying how, or
Yes, I
he looked
remember this
like he was
story.
he thought it was cool how those guys were over there, setting a timing on an engine
Because
and
he
working on
doesn't
the
know how to
engine.
do it.
Yeah, and he's never really been
Mechanical.
mechanically. Yeah. So, and I was always good at fixing things when I was growing up. So I try to always put my strong points into doing stuff that I should be doing. Like if I'm good at fixing things, then maybe I need to be fixing cars. And so, but I wanted to get into NASCAR in it. And back then, I wasn't necessarily wanting to be an engine builder. I just wanted to get in, be a mechanic, whatever I could do. But I also wanted to go to the racetrack. And I wanted to be around those cars going fast, the smell of rubber, the smell of fuel. And then the pit crew thing just was very exciting for me. And since I played football in high school. I was like, okay, that's going to be a good way. I'm already in shape. So I just jumped all over that. As soon as I got in, I was filling out my application to go to the racetrack, my license, paperwork, and practicing immediately. I was already going to the gym before I even got my job in racing. So I just set that goal, and that's what I wanted to do. You think is that the answer you were?
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
So, next question. And I'm sure they'll be interested in knowing this.
I'm sure they can't hardly wait.
It's because I'm brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
What is life like on the road when you're not on the track?
Well, it's definitely more work than people see because you get to the racetrack you get there. The track opens at 7 o'clock, sometimes 8 o'clock, but usually 7, or it did when I was going. And you're there. The race don't start till 1 o'clock, so there's 6 hours you got, and you're constantly. I mean, you have to hustle and get all of your stuff done. You have to set up the pits. You have to get the car ready. Um, set the chains as a jackman. Um, warm the cars. I mean, you have to do all this work. Sometimes change valve springs on the engines. Usually, all this on race day, and make sure the TV's working on the pit box. Make sure the pit camera's up. So then, when the race starts, it's like, my gosh, we're finally. And you have to eat and maybe sit down for a few minutes in
You
between
go to
all
the
that.
strip clubs.
Are you talking about on race day? Or are you talking about going to the? Yeah.
No, see,
What
the
do you?
reason that I asked that is because, Dad was in racing too.
Mm.
He would leave on Thursdays and do qualifying
Mm-hmm.
and then come back on Monday and was back at, I don't know what y'all call it, back at the place to work on Mondays.
Yeah.
So
Oh
it
yeah.
was all weekend. It was all weekend thing.
Well, yeah. Like I said, I worked 8 days a week. Felt like it.
My dad actually had his pay stub showing that he worked 100 hours in 1 week.
Mm.
And it's very common in racing.
And yeah, now back when in his day, they worked a lot more than I did. Now I work 40 hours, and sometimes I'll bring it up to these younger guys that kind of reminding them that they haven't made, but the older guys that were around before me kind of did the same thing to me when I started in there. Talking about we used to have to drive everywhere we went and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, no planes, none of that when Dad was
Have to
in it.
drive to Michigan and drive all these places, and have to leave a day or two early, and then they'd have to be at the track another extra day and all that. So, things have gotten better for sure.
The quality of life is
Quality of
probably
life's
better.
gotten a lot better. But I mean, I would, fly in. We go to some nice restaurants, maybe hit a bar sometimes, but you had to have you worked hard. You worked so hard that when you actually went away, and at nights you had to get rest too, but you had to have some downtime. Um, so you didn't read Rachel's.
I'm trying to read it.
There have been some recent close calls with pit crews and cars. What was your scariest moment as a jackman, and would you make any recommendations in NASCAR to keep the pit crew safe? And then Tom also says, do you have the option to go to the track and help tune engines if you wanted to, or is that a totally separate job? Well, to answer Tom's question right quick, that is, I could go to the track, and we do have one of the engine builders that goes, and I thank him all the time because he goes and changes valve springs, and I do not want to go do that because I like my weekends. I like my weekends at home. I look forward to my weekends. So to me, that would be like looking forward to going to work, which this guy pretty much seems to. I think he loves Mondays more than anybody. But and then so no, I don't really want to do that. I've been there, done that. Did it for 7 years, and that was just long enough for me. So, all right. So Rachel says there have been some recent close calls with pit cruising cars.
Plus, he can't get enough of me.
My yeah, there you go. My scariest moment. There's been times where I had to jump up, and the one time I landed on top of the hood, but I always thought. I mean, I know people get run over stuff, but there's also things you can do to avoid that.
Were you in NASCAR when the guy got squashed between the two cars?
And that was, I think, 1992 or so. Mike Rich on Billy Ott's crew got killed. I think it was Ricky Rudd that come in and anyway somehow got sideways and ended up killing him. But yeah, I always had that on my mind. So
So we started wearing helmets.
no, that wasn't that. It wasn't until years later that they started wearing helmets. 2003, maybe 2002. So, and that was in 10 years earlier. So anyway, my throat's getting dry. Well, back to the question. I was so I was really paranoid about. I mean, when I saw the car come flying in, then I would just wait back on the wall and let him stop first, and then I would go. Um, but there's been plenty of times where he come in hot, and one of my jobs was always to mark off the pit lane to where this is where the car's going to stop, and that's where the pit sign would come down, right where the car needs to stop. But of course, that didn't always happen, and some drivers were better at it. Sterling was good at it. Kyle was bad at it. So with Kyle, I kind of had to watch it, and then when I would drop the jack, the way that he would burn out of the pits, the back end of the car would always want to squirrel around and come towards me. So I would have to drop the jack and then jump over the wall to get away, just so I wouldn't get crushed between the wall. And the other thing, that was times where the drivers would come in, like at Bristol, and the wall's kind of tall. There's pits are really tight. They come in real close to the wall. So I'd be over there banging my knuckles on the wall, trying to get the car jacked up.
And not to mention, NASCAR is tough on your body. He's had both shoulders and his knee done.
Yeah, I've had surgery on both of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ricky Rudd was Terry Quinn commented, it wasn't Ricky who caused the incident between the 28 crew and was hit and brought about the helmet roll. Yes, that was John Bryan was the jack man, and Bobby Burrell, tire changer. Yeah, I remember that. And yeah, old John. So John owns his landscaping company now, American Lawn and Landscape. So we're good friends. We keep in touch. Anytime I have questions about my landscaping business, then I always send him a message, and he responds back immediately, and we're good friends, just as always. But John was, like I said, he was sort of my inspiration. Well, he was my ticket in, not ticket in. I'm sorry. He was what really got me thinking. You know what? If this guy can do it, I can do it. Just to be quite honest with you, whenever, because he was a jack man, and so I used to change oil in his car and all that stuff when he was our parts guy. And yeah, that was exactly what I thought. We were about the same size, and so anyway, I guess I answered all the questions. Yeah, Ricky Rudd. I guess you're right about Ricky causing two pit road incidents. I didn't even think about that, but that's true. How many years apart? 20 years apart or so. But maybe I'll ask him about that next time I talk to him. Just say, hey. Well, no, I'm not going to ask him about that, because the first one, somebody actually got killed. And the second one, we might kind of laugh about, but the first one was a tough deal. Yeah, and I'm so get hungry. So, anywho, I'm starting to think maybe it's time to wrap it up. It's been an hour and 20 minutes. Don't bother me. I could talk about it all night, but I just just thinking, don't want people to get too bored. Save some questions for next time. Yeah, Tom, that's a good question. I read where NASCAR is considering making horsepower limit at around 550 horsepower. I'm totally against that to match that spec engine. What's your opinion on that? Yes.
My arm went to sleep.
I was actually talking to one of the guys last week about it. He works in development, and he's like, and he kind of told me about it. And, that's been the rumors over the years, is us going to crate engines like the truck series is now, and ARCA series. Um, but I don't think the crate engine thing's going to go, but the spec engine deal could definitely come about. And NASCAR's always thinking about one thing's bringing in the fans. Okay, all right, I think they're going about that the wrong way, but the other thing is keeping costs down. So this guy, he works in development, and he was telling me, well, I don't guess they're going to have a need for me anymore because he develops cylinder heads and intakes. But if we're limited on, if we're at a spec engine and the horsepower is limited, then there goes a lot of that development stuff that we're currently able to do to constantly work on getting more horsepower, which is what sport's always been about. That's why Robert Yates has always had a lot of success because he had more horsepower, and that keeps the fans interested in sport too. Um, so you do that kind of stuff, and you take some of the competition away, and then I think it just gets boring for the fans. So, hey, Alec, and I want to say hey to my little buddy Alec, and his name is spelled. This is kind of neat. His name is spelled Alec. That's
Like
Terry
Alec
Quinn's
Baldwin.
grandson. Yeah. But it's oh my gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
Like Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, um but it's like Dracula spelled backwards. See, no, it's not spelled Alec. It's spelled Aluc. I'm sorry, Terry. Right, Terry? I thought that's what you had said. It's Aluc, like Dracula. But the way she said it here, can you say hi to Alec? Say hi to Alec. So that's cool. Mm. Good deal, Tom. I appreciate that, buddy. Um, we'll keep it going, and
Any suggestions is welcomed.
this is just a test. So maybe next time we'll have more people and more questions, and I might have to answer them quicker next time. But yeah, if you got any suggestions, um, and Rachel, I don't know why NASCAR keeps shooting itself in the foot. That's kind of, yeah. So I got it right. It's Alec, kind of like Dracula spelled backwards, but Cula, because his parents like Dracula stuff. So yeah, good deal. I'm glad y'all had a good time. I did too. I think it'd be pretty cool when we get more questions, and maybe people will be nice about them, which is fine. There might be some people being like,
Haters.
yeah, you're always going to have haters, but we'll just kind of laugh it off a little bit. But I don't think we're going to have to worry about that.
Just put me in the picture, we'll laugh.
Yes, exactly. She's a funny girl.
Funny girl.
Wait, what's that box back there?
What your laptop came in.
Oh, okay. Well, we can throw that in the
Stays
trash.
2 weeks here, and
Well, that
finally
box, we don't need that
notices.
box. Well, yeah. Okay.
You throw nothing away.
Actually, you know what? I could throw some stuff in there.
See what I live with?
Well, where's my pizza? It's already after 9 o'clock. I'm gonna be eating pizza.
It's 8 o'clock, Terry's time.
No, it's 7 o'clock her time, I think.
Okay, it's 8 o'clock, Tom's time.
That's good. That's what I'm gonna do.
Alex says, "Hey, Miss Tracy."
See, that's kind of cool.
That is kind of cool.
Even though she can't she can't do the chat right now, but it pops up on the side over
It's
here.
because you got Messenger turned on.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'll share a slice.
Alec.
One
How
of
are
these
you,
days.
kiddo?
That's right. What's up, Alec? Looking forward to seeing more pictures of you. Hopefully, it'd be cool if we had a little fire suit for Alec.
Oh, I can fit in David's.
Yeah. Oh,
I've
yeah,
tried.
yeah. That's true. Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna share a slice of pizza?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was gonna say one of these days they're gonna have a deal. You know, they already got 3D printers.
Oh, it's 9:12 there, Tom.
Oh yeah, Tom's. Wait a minute.
To
See,
help
my
keep me
computer's
warm.
jacked up. No, it's right now. It did say 6. My computer would have said 3 hours before, but yeah, it is 8 there. All right, Terry, Tracy was right. I thought you were like 2 hours behind.
See, I'm not always stupid.
Yeah.
He never gives me credit. It's a true story.
Yeah. Anyway, they got 3D printers, so you can print off. Actually, you got edible paper too. I saw that on
Yes, they do have edible paper.
that show where they put little hamburgers together. No, you put.
That was so funny at the Hall of Fame, Tracy.
Oh yes, put the fire seat on to keep warm in the Hall of Fame because she's always cold.
It is cold as crap in
Inside the Hall of
the
Fame.
Hall of Fame.
All these people in there, and so.
You guys talking about age? I don't feel it, but I'm 57. Well, I certainly hope we don't feel it when we get, each year we.
57's only 10 years older than me.
I'm saying I hope that we don't feel any worse than what we do now, because some days I feel bad.
Hello, Darla.
Hey, Darla.
Oh my Darla. Oh my Darla. Oh my
Alfalfa here has a hat on.
Clementine. Tom's probably said that a few times.
Probably not as annoying as you, though.
When's the next trip?
Trip.
It'll be a trip.
We'll have to make it out y'all's way.
Captain Jack.
Oh, and Terry, just so you know, my
Captain Jack.
grandmother on my dad's side and my aunt, which is my
Is this a
dad's
long
sister,
story?
shut up, used to live in Oklahoma City. So there you go.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma City.
I'm going to Oklahoma with the banjo on my knee. I changed it up a little bit.
This is turned into.
Speaking of
Hee-haw.
banjos, I should get my banjo.
No, please no.
Next time I'll get my banjo out.
We'll have to figure out how we can
Got a
do
harmonica
this
too.
so that everybody can see and talk at the same time.
Thank you, Terry.
You love to hear Hamm sing.
Yes. See there?
Hamm makes fun of my singing, so I quit.
What?
Yes, you did.
I didn't make fun of it. I just think it's funny.
He laughs.
Well, it's funny. Give us a sample.
Come see me, David. You know what? I would love to come to Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think my grandmother would take like a day and a half to 2 days to drive because she would drive out all the time to come here. Is that about right?
Yep. More banjo.
I want to hear you play.
That's
David
right.
has
Next
not
time.
played the banjo in months, just so y'all know.
Hey, I played it out in the shop because I got one hanging out there. You just hadn't seen it.
She is laughing. You all. What?
You all are always welcome here in Lyons, Indiana. And how about those damn victory songs? Oh, I know, Tom. Gosh, man.
What victory
I dropped the
songs?
ball on that. I'm supposed to be singing whenever we win a race or something.
How long did it take him to get your shirt signed, Tom?
My gosh. I need a list. I don't know what I need at this point. I can't get everything done, and I can't keep up with everything I got going on. I don't know. Any suggestions? Send me suggestions because I'm definitely not the most organized, I guess you could say.
Okay, so he has suggestions from me. He just doesn't listen.
Well, okay, here's the problem. I don't have enough time in a day.
That's
I don't have enough
take on
hours
too
in
many
the day.
projects at once.
And I can't tell people no when they want something worked on.
Hello?
But, all right then. Let's take a downhill turn.
Okay, so 6 people's viewing. Who's the 6th person? I still haven't figured that out.
Don't know. They heard you.
They heard me and disappeared. So
They're like,
somebody
I'm gone.
that doesn't want me to know.
Somebody's
Somebody wants to stay incognito.
Yeah, let's see. Well, it don't show these. Alrighty. Well, anyhow, I guess we'll go now.
Come here and look for relics. It's Indian country too.
Yeah.
And I can get me some pretty cool cowgirl boots.
Yeah, there you go. If I had a signal down at the creek, I could go down there and look for relics.
Tom said something.
I can go down there and look for relics with the
I won't let you
on
forget.
live.
And that shirt is up
Up
on the wall and is my favorite thing in my bar, along with a bunch of 28 stuff.
Yeah, cool. Good deal, buddy. We'll get you some more stuff too. Yep. Yeah, we're planning on it, so pretty awesome. All right. Sixth is back.
Who's the sixth?
And they're gone
Who's
again.
the
No, I'm
sixth?
just kidding.
Not.
All right, everybody. So I guess we'll what's the sign out word? BR549 signing out.
What's BR549?
You know, from Hee Haw. You don't remember that? All right, I'm gonna have to go show her what BR549 is.
I'm good.
We're actually a
thank you.
music group now called
I'm
BR549.
good.
All right, so if y'all got any, I'll start right now.
When do you
Questions. So
want us to
next
come
time
back?
Yeah, Rachel, thank you. This is a good idea. I think so. And Tom, good night, buddy. See you and Darla later on. Maybe next time I'll send you a link telling you when we're going to do this. I don't know. When is a good night for everybody?
What's a good night?
Like Tuesday night, maybe.
It may be what boots?
I don't know. I don't know if she. Let's see what if she comes back with something else. I didn't understand what Terry was saying. Well, that's cool, Rachel. Yeah, so we can get the Penske fans in, Paul Rodriguez, and some of the other people on here to come in. Oh yeah, Monday after the race. Yeah, Monday nights might be okay because I kind of tend to take Monday nights off because after
Now that the
working all day.
Bachelorette's off, we can watch it.
Yeah. No more Bachelorette.
Pizza's here.
Pizza's here.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Wait
Peace
a minute.
out. Good day, mates. We'll see y'all next time.
Look
I'll
at her.
send them.
She's like, oh my God.
See you next time we do this. All right. Good night, everybody.
Peace.